Hi Arne, are you happy to be back here in Holland?
Yeah, of course. I'm happy in England. I'm happy in Liverpool with the team, with the training ground and everything that comes with that. But I've had a great time here in Holland, football-wise, but definitely in my private life as well. So it's always nice to be back, not at the club I'm supporting, but nice to be back and speak a bit of Dutch once in a while as well.
And you've obviously left quite a lot of the senior players at home. If you could just explain the reasoning behind that and how excited are you to give some younger or fringe players a chance to prove themselves tomorrow?
Yeah. They don't need to prove themselves. We know what the quality is for the players that we're going to play tomorrow. But I think we are playing, like all the teams in Europe, many games. And these players are ready. So all the ones that are left behind could have played tomorrow. But for the long term, so it doesn't tell you anything about the short term, so it doesn't tell us anything about the Saturday game. But for the long term, if you look back at our season, it's been almost every time after 3 or 4 or 5 weeks, we gave them the break during the week when it was a League Cup or an FA Cup. If there was a moment for them to get some freshness back, we've always done that. And it took me a while to understand this new format, but I always say when I think I'm 100% sure I use 99.9, but now I can say I'm 100% sure that it doesn't matter at all if we end up 1 or 2, because we will play 14, 15, 16 or 17, and then in the end it's a draw which of the teams we are going to face. So this is a game for us, because we're now number 1 or 2, we cannot drop to number 3. That has no importance of result coming to the league table, but a very wise man once said to me, I've never seen anything good coming from losing a football game, so we are not going into the game tomorrow trying to lose the game. We will do everything we can trying to win it, of course. And second thing is, because that was part of the story, that because we mainly start with 13, 14 players that have shared most of the playing time, the ones that haven't played a lot, it's very useful for them to have 90 minutes, because if we do get into injury problems, these players will have a bit of game rhythm then as well. So it's a choice that we've made for the long term. Doesn't tell you anything about the results in the short term, but definitely it helps us for the long term.
In English, you want. Arne, what do you think of the season of PSV and how they played this season compared with last season when you were in Holland and playing against them?
Yeah, of course, last season I saw a bit more than this season. And last season they were incredible. This season I haven't seen that much. I think they've dropped a few points more than last season, but not that big of a difference. So they're still a team als ze gas geven, als ze even hun best doen, dan liggen er ook 2-3 ballen in de Eredivisie. So I go to Dutch now, is that okay for you? Yeah. Dan scoren ze er ook 2 of 3 gelijk. Dus volgens mij hebben ze nog steeds heel erg veel kwaliteit. En hebben ze nog steeds een heel erg goed seizoen dit jaar. Want ze zitten overal nog in. Hè?
And the football philosophy of Peter Bos, that's something a little similar to your philosophy. You like it?
I don't know if we're exactly similar, but there are similarities, of course, and similarities between many coaches. What is definitely a similarity, he wants to have the ball a lot. He doesn't go to a low block waiting for the other team to make a mistake. He doesn't let his goalkeeper put the ball on the 6-yard line and kick it as far as he can. He wants to bring the ball a lot from the back. So I think for the PSV fans, and I've noticed this when I was here last season, but they're really happy that Peter is here, because he doesn't only bring results every game he's involved in. I think it's a joy to watch. It's always positive. It's always eventful. A lot of things happen. So I think the fans here in Eindhoven are, not only because he won the league, very happy. Mainly also because of his playing style, and I know we are mainly judged about results, but I would hope that there comes a time that managers are always also judged on their playing style, which is difficult because almost everyone judges us. If we win, we play well. If we lose, we don't play well.
Thank you.
where I'm from.
In Dutch or in English?
In the Dutch.
In Dutch.
You can do that.
Ja, Arne, ik heb eigenlijk één vraag, hè.
Arne, I only have one question for you. Please go ahead, continue. There was a wise man that told you during your career that things are going well. A lot of players that have time to play. Does this give you more confidence that you have so many players who are able to play? Or is it also a bit scary to switch that amount of players and change them? Does it scare me, is the question, if this happens? No, maybe both. Maybe both, because I don't think in football that you can think for the past few months it has been going very well, so then we are convinced that it will be going well in future as well. We cannot do so, especially because when you're involved in the team, and I've said this also during my time at Feyenoord, it's so difficult to become a champion, and some people are watching from the outside say it has been easy. No, there are many things that need to go well, that you need to perform well, and some things that I always mentioned at Feyenoord is that I felt that 10 times a day you need to throw the dice and 6 has to roll out. So to be successful, you have to perform. It doesn't give you any guarantees. It doesn't give us any more confidence than other. I wouldn't say that I'm scared neither, because when you're in this job, tomorrow we play PSV, then Bournemouth, and then Tottenham. I don't remember what will happen now. A League Cup, FA Cup, and after that another game during the week. So I'm especially working on PSV and Bournemouth, and this is exceptional because normally I would only work on PSV, but yes, I'm looking into the match against Bournemouth as well.
Will the players who have stayed behind train tomorrow, or are they off? And have you left any staff members behind to help them?
No, they will be off tomorrow. If there's a possibility, if it's possible, we always prefer to have them off 3 days before the game. That's not always possible if you play so many games. But they will train on first day, so there will go a few staff members back home earlier, first day morning, to train with the ones that stay behind on first day, but they're off tomorrow. Yeah.
Arne, dan gaan we voor het gemak weer even terug naar Nederlands.
Arne, we'll switch to Dutch just to make it easy. Now that you are back in Holland, did you receive a lot of messages? People saying hello to you. But I was wondering if your biggest critic person, did you invite him, your father? No, I don't receive any messages of the people who are here, but I don't know if this is normal in football, but I didn't receive any messages from you guys. But yes, I receive a lot of messages in general, not only this week, but the last few months. My father will not be here. He says that he can watch much better when he watches the television. He sees many more things. And he's from Bergentheim, the village where Arne Slot was born. And what I don't miss in the Netherlands is the amount of traffic that we have in this country. So I don't think that he had to drive 2.5 hours, but much longer than that. So I don't think it's that strange. So I don't think that he will be watching with too many nerves from the couch at home. In Dutch. Besides the fact that you're performing so well in Champions League, how do you look at this new stage tournament, this new setup? For many times I have said that at the end of the tournament you can only judge or talk about how this Champions League setup has changed. And maybe if you look at the teams that are now on 16, 17, 18 spot, maybe some clubs change, like Celtic, Man. So sometimes you've played 6 or 7 games and you won, and then you hope that this will give you a prize. But well, we have to hope that this is still the case. But in the past, some other clubs who performed worse and still continued during the Champions League, and now we can say that there is still a playoff phase and that they are able to reach further in the tournament. So if you ask me as a coach on this team, as a club coach from a club who worked somewhere where it wasn't that easy to continue in the tournament, well, I think for them it's even better because now I ask myself if it's a bad thing to end up 16th, 17th in this setup. So if I would say that everybody will continue, if I say all 8 clubs will continue, how many? 8, 12? Yeah, well then it's a lot, right? Arne, they declared you almost as a saint. Do you sometimes watch yourself in the mirror when you're brushing your teeth? What's it like to be Arne Slot? When you look at the mirror, well, it's not always that pleasant, I have to confess. To be a bit self-criticism here and self-spot to use. I wish I had a little bit more hair, for example. But no, as a head coach, I'm not looking at the things that people were quite positive about me when I worked at Feyenoord. But it gives you a certain pressure to perform for the next games. People expect that working at Feyenoord, you end up first in the table. So no, you're not dealing with the press all day and what people write about you. But what you can do, and what I was doing, is doing the things that you can influence on, and we have to work hard for that. But me and my staff as well, we always want to prepare as best as possible, because tomorrow and then again against the Bournemouth, there's a little space between the games. Yes, I look myself in the mirror, but not that many times because I'm just working hard. Your decision to leave players at home, you already explained a little bit, but have you also thought about bringing in the best players and to perform with your team? Because this is your squad. Is this something that you're dealing with to show yourself? No, I'm not dealing with what my team is like because I want to win. No, I'm dealing with my team. I'm looking into the long term of this process of the group management, and I think that the group that we bring on the pitch tomorrow is great. And it would be strange if tomorrow the group has the same level as we would have in other games, but still we will have a team that when they play in a League Cup, they would be able to win against Southampton and I think Brighton that we had in League Cup. It wasn't that easy, by the way, but we did win. And as you've seen, after me, Gakpo will be here, so I decided to bring him, for example. So yes, I do think about some sentiments or feelings that go here, but have you seen that he didn't play against Lille last week? For the ones here in the room who are sharp, and did you notice? Now that you're back, do you have moments in which you consider and think about your time and look back and reflect on your time? Have you ever imagined what it would be like to win this amount of games and to perform this well? I've received this question many times. I am never dealing with where I will be in 6 or 7 months. The only way that I work is how can I bring in my style of play as soon as possible with this team. The reason that the club ended up with me is because of there were so many characteristics that I shared between the game of style of Jurgen Klopp and mine, and some personalities. That's the first focus, and after that the draw was clear for Champions League. I was hoping that, I don't hope that the last game of this Champions League will be still important, because more than some of the English journalists here in the room are still knowing that it will be really difficult to play here or at Feyenoord, because it brings the best players who perform here. So as a group, I'm happy to be in the position that we are in now. Thanks to this new format of the Champions League, it doesn't matter if we win or lose tomorrow. So yes, I'm happy. But please, the differences between England and Netherlands, we all can see the difference in quality or intensity, but can you mention, please, another difference that we might not think about? You have to see this a relatively way, because in general there are many more players in England than in the Netherlands, because there is more money to spend, of course. But only half a year ago, Jerry Schouten and Gravenberg in the Dutch national team, they were higher in the hierarchy. So I wouldn't say that the players from PSV are much having less quality than the Dutch national team, or that we have, for example. But if you compare to the Dutch Eredivisie, the Dutch league, and in the Netherlands you would say the right side of the table, and in the lower side of that part in the table, if you look at one player who maybe could play in Ajax, PSV or Feyenoord, and if you look at England, I think every team has one or two teams that could play or that has been bought for a lot of money that could also have happened at a top club. So to win a game in Premier League, an away game, or even any game is a bigger challenge, because not only they have better players, but also the managers are, well, I have to say they're really good. So each game, this makes a bigger challenge. The program in Feyenoord was similar because we played every 3 games. But I think that if we have 2 or 3 more games than Feyenoord, right, I'm guessing, and I think that's about it. But to play against the striker of our last game, who did we face? Who did we face last game? Ipswich Town. Okay. Well, to play against the striker of West Ham, it's tougher to play against than you look at the striker of RKC, the Dutch team here in the Netherlands. The intensity of the duels that you face are so much heavier here in England than in the Netherlands. Then Robbie is going to play there. First of all, welcome back to the Netherlands. Do you still follow Feyenoord? And if you do, in what way? What do you think of their season? These are a lot of questions in one. Of course, I do follow them. I follow the Eredivisie, but less intense, or I see less than I used to do, or than I used to see. Yes, I follow them. And what's your second question? Well, not that extremely, because I of course saw the game against Bayern München because we faced them also, but we play at the same time, so I didn't see that many games of Feyenoord. And the last one, how does it go at Feyenoord? Well, I guess you can say this also, they're doing great in Champions League. I am supposing that they were wishing to perform better in the Dutch league, but this is my idea. This is the reality now that they are facing. Arne, welcome back. You are saying my father is not in the stadium. Did you receive another message or invitation from others to arrange some tickets for the game tomorrow? Did many people want to come tomorrow? No, not that many people. My family is here, and my brother, or I don't know if it's always like this, but when we want a ticket for Liverpool, they sometimes need to be sitting in the stands of the opponent's team in the stadium at Liverpool. So these are the only requests that I received. And after the weekend, some more people were interested, but then they asked what they were the first 11 to place in and what I was thinking. But then the interest of the team became less and less from my family, but I still think that the Liverpool fans are looking forward towards this game because it's a beautiful game to play and we still bring in good players.